Hey everyone, it's Kelly Ann and welcome to the next video. Hi. You want to say hi? No, okay. You want to play up on the... Oh. Okay, it is Sunday, January 8th of 2023. My last video is still processing. It's close to being done though. It's at 99%. But it is 2 hours long because I had several ramble sessions. So there's that. I took off Friday and Saturday from stitching. Yeah, I wasn't really feeling it. So, but to start this video off, I do have a couple of things to show you. I can't really move the pieces, but in this bin right here, I did go ahead and get the 12 bestseller blocks and the 13 personal book stacks blocks, personal library blocks, all cut out. I have them sitting on pieces of muslin because I'm so worried that some of the really tiny pieces are just going to like float away. The smallest cut are these squares right here, and they're 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. And they're to snowball a corner. So, almost every letter of the alphabet is used in this pattern to represent a cut size. And that is the most I've ever used in a pattern. And yeah, it's going to be fun, but they are also going to be very intense. It took me 5 hours just to cut all of that out. There's still more to cut out, like the sashing and the borders and things like that. But for the individual blocks of the quilt, which is the like initial main portion of the stitch along starting next week, yeah, the 15th, everything is ready to go. I also, underneath this back here, I prepped the muslin. You can kind of see it. I prepped the muslin for the String of Hearts quilt along, which starts also in a week. This for the String of Hearts is week 2. This will be week 2. So sometime this week, I just need to post a photo that I've pre-cut some of it. And I was going to try and pre-cut some of the background, but since I'm making it really scrappy and I kind of have to like finagle through all the scraps, and I got a set of squares done, but there's so many more to do and they're all different sizes. So anyways, I started cutting it. So I just have to post a photo sometime this week that cutting has started for the String of Hearts quilt along, but piecing starts the week after. And it's being done like in stages. So we'll see. Okay. What else did I just show you? So I did all of that today. My goal before going to bed tonight, I do really want to sew, but I also just don't think it's going to happen. I do have the next row like prepped for the test that I'm doing for the log cabin quilter, and this is the cattywampus quilt that I'm testing. So I don't know, I may get the blocks put together, but I might not get the row put together. I don't know, we'll see, because I'm going to cut out the last quilt for testing, which is the Garden Gate quilt, also for the log cabin quilter. So I need to cut out some muslin. And then these are my fabrics. I'm going to go with 4 fabrics, but this is one of them. So I have a bunch of these vintage florals, and I think they're absolutely adorable individually. I think this is going to be absolutely tragically ugly, but like so ugly it's kind of adorable, if that makes sense. But anyways, I have a ton of these fabrics, these vintage fabrics from I don't even know when, because I don't think any of the salvages say information on them, because back in the day they didn't do that like they do now. They don't, you know, like they weren't a part of collections or anything like that. And if they were, they didn't do it. Look how much of this blue one I have. I have so much of this. So, yeah, I definitely have fabric to do a crazy floral backing, if I want to. So this blue is going to be in it. So we have this red and this blue, and then, a little bit less of this one, but a fair amount. This would also be really fun as a skirt. And then, yeah, so this yellow, very, very, very bright. And then I love this one. Again, it's another one that I have a whole bunch of, and this I actually would like to make something out of, like an apron or a skirt. I really, really like this. This would also maybe be like a nice blouse. I don't know. I'm starting to like think clothing at this point, because I definitely want to make some. And I found a free apron pattern for the type of apron that I've been looking for on Instagram, and I downloaded it, but I can't look it up on either device right now. But I downloaded the free pattern, and then I found the most amazing skirt. I haven't bought the pattern yet, but it is also a online PDF file. And it also comes with an attachment to make it an apron for a couple extra dollars. Anyways, it is basically a skirt that has a back and a front section with an 18th century inlay panel. So there's, okay, this is kind of hard to explain, but there's like, it's probably a little bit longer than like knee length. So there's a back of the skirt that goes a little bit past the knees. And in the front of the back part of the skirt, there is a lacing panel. So there's a panel that goes across the front, and it laces up, and there's shorter pockets attached to it, 18th century pockets. So there's a pocket on each side, and they have long openings, and but they're like up by like your thighs. And then there's an attached to it, where this lace panel is the front part of the skirt, and it has ribbon, or, well, I mean, okay, it doesn't have actual ribbon, but it's what it's called, but it's the fabric. And you can tie it behind you, you can wrap it to the front, to the side, and basically this skirt adjusts up to 8 inches with that lace up panel that's hidden behind the front long side of the skirt. And so you can make it a size that fits weight fluctuations, which is, anyways, it's fabulous. And it's so pretty. This would be perfect for that. But anyways, this is the 4th one. So together kind of looks like a hot mess, but at the same time, it's kind of great. Mixed with muslin. So in between, so these will all like 4-point together, and they'll have like muslin in between all the different blocks. So my goal is to get the pieces for this quilt also cut out tonight, so that way I can finish up the cattywampus this week, because all that's left this is how many blocks I still have to draw lines on and attach them to blocks. So I have half, oh my gosh, numbers are hard. I have 16 more bat blocks to finish. And then it's putting it together. So I started kind of putting it together by rows because I really wanted to just kind of like see how it was gonna look. So we do have an idea. So I got the first row put together and it is so cute. I think the black really sets it, and I really like the plaid as the little cornerstone. So I'm thinking, what I am thinking is that after the black outside border, I think I am going to take the rest of the bat fabric and make an additional row of bats. I don't know yet what I want to do for the back, but then the binding, I think I'm going to use the rest of the plaid, and the plaid will be the binding. So I just have to figure out the back, but I can wait and figure that out. But yeah, I did kind of mess up the blocks because in my head it went bats and then the bright heart block, and so I thought that these were going to be on the inside, and that's just not how it worked out. And I attempted, like I said in that video, I had attempted to put the pinks in the middle, but it was just too bright and drew too much attention to it. So I kind of like that it gives like this weird pattern with the pinks on the outside. And it kind of like connects all the blues, like kind of like this weird like little river kind of thing. So I don't know, maybe the back should be pink. But anyway, so this is one completed row. So yeah, the other thing, so I went to the fabric store yesterday and I came home with some fabrics that are not mine to make a quilt for this gentleman that came in. His name is Richard, and he was so sweet. And he's not a quilter. He just likes to buy quilts. And he liked one of Kim's quilts that she had above the mantle. Actually, both mantles. And one she had made and didn't really want to sell. And they weren't really his colors. And then one of them I had made, and he was sad that that one didn't have a price tag. And he asked me why it didn't. And I said, well, I made that one, and one of my best friends was watching me make it, and she said that she wanted to buy it. So she's going to get to buy it. So he would like a swoon quilt made, but a mini one. And I have the pattern. I don't know where it is right now, but it's the swoonful. I don't remember the name of it. Anyways, it's the swoon quilt. But there's a smaller version. So these are the fabrics that got picked out. So this is going to be the background and the binding. And then this is going to be the points. This is going to be the outer star, and this is the inner star. So I think it's going to look really good. He really loves red, and he wanted it to look country, but not Christmassy. So yeah, we had, and he, like, we looked at blues and we looked at blacks, and the blacks were too stark for him. The blues made it look too patriotic. And he said green would make it look too Christmassy. But then Kim pulled, so I helped him find the two reds and the white. And then Kim pulled this one, and it was perfect, like country with the flowers, and tied it all in. And he loves stars. So this red right here has stars on it, which is great. And this is kind of like a star-ish looking pattern. Kind of looks like a Moroccan type tile or like a Spanish tile. So center star, outer star, points, and background. And then the backing is just going to be plain white. So I got commissioned to do this. There's no rush. So I'm going to be finishing the cattywampus, the garden gate, and then working on this with my two quilt-alongs throughout the rest of the month. So I'm going to cut this probably after the two test quilts are done, because the test quilts are in this first bin. Oh, it's live. So the test quilts are in this first bin where the iPad is right now, and so it can take their spot. And so after this next week, hopefully I can like work on them in a line, like in a little line, and do the blocks that I need. So that's kind of the update for today. It is 9 o'clock, so I'd really like to be in bed by 10. It's 9:10 actually, if we're being super honest. So I'm going to cut out this pattern, and if it goes super quick, then I will get as much done as I can on the cattywampus. I would love to have 50% of it done, but if anything, if I could at least, because I've still got to size down these blocks. So if anything, if I could get those sized down and maybe the blocks like chain pieced or something and just be like at a good point for tomorrow, that would be really good. And then I think from this point on, I'm just going to finish the last 16 all in a row, and just knock out the last 2 rows. So I'm hopefully by maybe Wednesday, I can have cattywampus done and start on garden gate. And it would be really great if I could maybe have the weekend to, because I'm going to be out of town on Monday, possibly Sunday. So, yeah, it'd be really great to be at a certain point where I can maybe start one of the quilt-alongs before I'm gone. But then Monday, whenever I get back next week in town, I'll still be off work, so I could probably stitch for like a good chunk of the day. Anyways, that's it for this clip, but that's where I'm at. That's what I've been working on. Yeah, like I said, there's just not much to see with what I've cut. Like, so there's just a bunch of muslin squares. And then this one, it's sitting on muslin, but there's just so many tiny pieces. I'm afraid of like dropping any of them. Like, it would just not be a really good idea. Hi. What are you doing? Hi. Come here. Come here. No? Okay. Do your thing, girlfriend. All right. I'll see you in the next clip. Hey, friends. So it is Friday, January 13th. And I'm not done with either of my test quilts. Yeah, all the plans of like where I wanted to be by like a certain day for like this weekend and all that kind of stuff out the window. It's not because I like intentionally did it. I just have needed off days basically. And I've been sleeping, like my sleep score according to Fitbit is not great, but I've been getting more sleep than I normally get. And I think that's why my sleep score is off. I'm already tired. It's 8:30. This week I've been going to, this week I've been laying down by 9 p.m. and there's like a day or two that I actually fell asleep very shortly thereafter. And there's a couple of days where I like couldn't fall asleep until about 10:30, but I was in bed and so I've just been tired. I started my walking again, which has been really good. So where am I at with the Cattywampus quilt, you may be asking? And the Cattywampus quilt is this one, the Halloween themed one, the subtle, not so Halloween quilt. Although the parts that stand out the most are the Halloween squares, which I wanted it to be the bats. It just is what it is right now. But I have 2 rows completely put together with sashing and everything. So I have 50% of it done, like what needs to be done. And so I have all of the main blocks finished, the last 8. And they're kind of all, because I do chain piecing. This is the last block. Actually, I can cut this off. This is the last block for the second row, the final row, second row of the bottom half. But so I have the single sashing on all of them. So now what I'm going to do in this next round, so I'm just kind of, let me see if I can do this without making you seasick. So I have it all attached. So I have 3 right here with sashing, and then I have my 4th block. So what I'll do next is I'll clip these 2 and snip them, and then I'll connect these 2. Then I'll snip this one off and I'll connect the last one for the row. And then this is a sashing piece. I was in between row 3 and row 4 putting together my sashing. That is now done. So then to distinguish the rows, I will put a starter in between them. And then I'll do the same thing for row 4. Then it'll loop back around and then this will only be 2 pieces now instead of 3. I'll put these 2 together, then the row will be complete. And then once both rows are complete, I will add the sashing in between them, and then I can add this bottom half to the quilt. Which actually, before I add it to the quilt, I might sash them and then put the final border on the bottom, because I already put the final border across the top. So I might put the final border across the bottom, attach it to the other half, and then do the 2 side borders, and then I'll be done. So with it being 8:30 and I'm really tired, do I want to stay up, you know, late enough to finish this? Maybe not, but I will definitely get this done by tomorrow. And then I have to take like some photos and stuff of it done, and you know, with no extras. But I think I am gonna go ahead and add a border. So I accidentally cut, I think these are just pieces. Yeah, those are just pieces, but I might be able to use those. I accidentally cut an extra 6.5 of the bats, but I'm thinking that big of a border might be really good. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, you would definitely get little bat heads and like little bat feet in the border, because then I would have, I think I would have enough, I think. But yeah, I may or may not have enough. So that may be a pipe dream of doing a bat border, and I don't want to purchase any anymore to be able to do it because I can't get it locally. Paige has several of the collections, fabrics, like in person, but she didn't get the bats, so, which is fine. But I would have to order it off of Etsy because none of the other local stores have it either. So I'd have to get off Etsy and pay shipping and all that kind of stuff. And I just don't want to do that. If I'm going to buy fabric off of Etsy right now, it's going to be backing for my Snoopy quilt because, so I answered somebody's survey on Instagram from a story and I had no idea that she was going to do this, but she had a little bubble, you know, like the little like question bubble, and I answered it, and she sent me a message and she said, "Thank you so much for your feedback. Can I have your address? I want to send you a small gift." And I was like, okay, crazy, but cool. Thank you. It was a shop. And so little did I know, she also does long arm quilting. And so she sent me, and it's in the other room, but she sent me 3 fat quarters of fabrics. Like I said, I left them in the other room, but they're just random fat quarters. Like one has like gardening tools on it, which is super cute. I think it'd be really cool for like the inside of a tote bag. One of them is like blue. It looks like little bubbles are on it. And I think one is green. But kind of plain, like they're like good blenders. So anyways, but also inside of that, she sent a 50% off quilting service. What? So I think she's in Illinois. So basically I would just send her my top and my backing with my little coupon. I would mail it to her, obviously with tracking, just to be sure. But I would mail it to her, and yeah, it's a twin size. It would be like $130 to $150 to have quilted, like with batting and stuff. And it would be like $75-80 with this coupon or something like that. And then she would mail it back to me, and she is totally okay with getting a pattern that she doesn't have yet. And so I showed her, she said that her machine takes ones from Intelligent Designs, which is where the Woodstock pattern is at. And she said, yeah, she was like, no extra cost to you, because all it does is just add it into my repertoire to quilt things for other people. So yeah, I answered a survey and I got 50% off a quilting service. And I do have like a bigger quilt, but I would rather have the Snoopy quilt done first, to be quite honest, because it needs it. So anyways, I'm going to try to buy the backing in February and possibly send her the quilt for quilting in March. So, I'm hoping to have it quilted sometime in like March, April at the latest, but by March. But anyways, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna, it doesn't have an expiration date on the coupon or anything. And she even said, cause I was talking to her, on Instagram, and, I said, do I just send you like, I mean, obviously we like talk about it, but like, do I just send it to you and like make sure the coupon's in there? Which I'll probably just send the coupon, so that way I know that it's been like used. But she was like, I have you written down. Like, I know you have a coupon. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh. So, yeah, answer surveys apparently. Like, don't sleep on those. So the other thing that I want to for sure get started this weekend, because honestly, I have to, it's due by the end of next week. So whatever like quilty bug is like, you know, like sleep is more priority than quilting this week. Hopefully I get it back over the weekend. Also, luckily I have Monday off, federal holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And, I can hopefully get a lot of quilting in on Monday, but I need to start Garden Gate, which is the other test quilt. So I have to start Garden Gate. I'm actually really excited. Whenever they were like in their big bolts, it kind of looked a little crazy. You know, like I said, like they're so ugly, they're beautiful. Cut out, they're looking a whole lot more manageable and like more fun. I think really the only one that's super throwing it off for me is the yellow, but I love it individually. I don't know. This quilt is going to look like a hot mess, but like, I feel like in like the best way. And did I decide to do the throw or the baby? I'm honestly not sure. How many did I cut out of this? I feel like I did the throw. Why would I do the big one? Or did I do the baby and then I was like, I could add borders? Holy shit, I don't even remember. I really hope that I cut out for the baby. I feel like panic is starting to overwhelm me. I feel like I should go and count. I know that there's 18 of everything. Well, I mean, of these. Was that for the baby size? Shit. I think so. Hell, I don't know at this point. Okay. Anyway, so that's the next one. So anyways, bottom line, this may or may not get borders added to it. I'm not really sure. The other thing is, so Sunday, Sunday, the Book Nook sale starts. I have everything cut. I have to make 6 of the bestseller blocks. But I am so paranoid about these tiny itty bitty little pieces that I might just make all 12 of them. I don't know. It depends on how complicated they are. But I love to chain piece. So honestly, only doing 6 whenever there's 12, it might make more sense, honestly, for me to just go ahead and knock them out and just do them. Especially since Monday starts the String of Hearts stitch along. Quilt along, stitch along, whatever. Same thing. So, and then I also have the customer quilt. He's not in a hurry, but I would love to have his done by next weekend also, because I have to go back home for a dentist appointment. And on my way back from my appointment, I could drop it off. That's the logistics. Otherwise, it's going to wait until February. And I don't want to do that. So, like, I would, if it has to, it has to. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Why does this finger feel like weird and numb and warm? It's like I slammed it in something and it's like irritated, but I didn't. So it's odd. It's not swollen. I don't know. It's being weird. Anyways, so goal tonight, get as much done on Cattywampus as absolute possible. So that way I can finish it tomorrow, start on Garden Gate, hopefully finish that by maybe Sunday. Everyone's saying that it's really quick. I don't know. Regardless on Sunday, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh my gosh, brain malfunctions. I want to finish Cattywampus by tomorrow, period, end of. I want to start Garden Gate, period, end of. Sunday, I am going to start Book Nook. Monday, I am going to start String of Hearts. And then throughout next week, I will slowly work on, if I don't get them done, like the parts that are due for next week's for the sales, I will work on those throughout the week. I will finish up Garden Gate throughout the week. And I will also try really, really, really hard to finish the customer's quilt. It's small. It's a mini. I say that. It's 42 by 42, but that's still pretty small. The bigger one is 72 by 72, so... okay, so one last thing, the String of Hearts sal, that one is going to take me a little bit of time because I am cutting all the background pieces as I go because I'm making it piecey. So that's going to be chaotic looking, but I'm kind of here for it. It's all of my leftovers from the Maureen McCormick's first line, a blooming bunch. If you don't know who Maureen McCormick is, the Brady Bunch, Marsha. But it's the fabric line that I made my gigantic quilt that I designed that's on my bed. So I'm making the throw size because that's the side that qualifies you for the sew along, quilt along, whatever you want to call it. And what gets you into drawings every week, if you complete your task for the week, you get put into drawings, obviously if you post it, to win prizes. And I think there's like 6 weeks of prizes. Anyways, I won week 1. And 3 out of 4 of the items were on like my wish list. So let me show you what I got. So the one item that wasn't on my wish list, only because I don't travel a whole lot with my sewing and things like that, or not like this type of sewing. So I don't really think about getting these types of like pouches and stuff. But this is a s8e2, which I'm pretty sure is Lori Holt, and I forget the other lady's name. I'm pretty sure that's their like pattern line and all that kind of stuff. And so I think they also have like accessories. Anyways, I'm pretty sure it's Lori Holt, but, and friend, I can't remember her name. But anyways, this is a case that says I love quilting, and it says s8e2. That's the only reason why I know that. And it's just this really pretty baby pink. But whenever you open it, it has this pocket and this mesh pocket, and it can hold, well, probably not these, but it's for like transporting your like rotary cutters, extra blades in the package. I don't know. I guess you could put your rotary cutter over here. But extra blades, small pair of scissors, a seam ripper, all that kind of stuff, like your small little tools. That is what this is for. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Not going to complain about that. That is pretty awesome. And then these 3 items actually have been on my wish list. So I am a big fan of creative grids. You can see behind me, I have creative grids for all of my rulers. No, this is also a creative grid. My stripper is a creative grid. There are cheaper rulers. OmniGrid has like some of the cheaper rulers, and they work really well. They work really well. I use them all the time up at the shop whenever I need to, because they cost less. The only problem with OmniGrid, for me, with their acrylic rulers, is that they are black and yellow print, and after a while it hurts my eyes and starts triggering a headache. So I try to avoid that. So I tend to lean towards creative grids, which are one of the more expensive acrylic rulers that you can buy, but they're black and white. And I really, really like them. And this one, you can tell is super new because it is super grippy, but this is a 6.5 by 6.5. The other square one that I have is 5.5 by 5.5. And then I have obviously my 12.5 by 12.5 stripper. And then I have a 6.5 by 12.5 and a 6.5 by 24.5. So I've actually been wanting a 6.5 square because, funny enough, it would have come in really handy because all of these smaller blocks are 6.5 squared. So I could have cut them using this. So anyways, that was a part of the giveaway, which is super awesome. So now it can go on my wall, and I now have additional squares. There are a couple other of the square sizes that I want to get. I think that there's bigger than the 6.5, which I'm not really wanting that at this moment, but that could change. but there are a couple that are smaller. I really have use for a 4.5 and a 3.5 squared. So those are now on my radar, but the 6.5 was definitely one that I wanted to get because a lot of blocks, to be quite honest, are 6.5. So, the other thing that was in there was an Olfa 28mm, rotary cutter. So this one is super awesome. There is a little like easy exchange in the back. So you pull that down and you can pop off this front cover that says 28mm, and then your blade pops off, and it's really easy, quick to change. And then to expose your blade with an Olfa, if you've never seen it, is you just pull this down and then your blade is exposed. I used to only have my Olfa 45mm. I switched to the Fiskar because, and not that I'm not going to get use out of this, I've already bought a duo pack of extra 28mm blades, but these are super, super good for like tiny little cuts, squaring things up and things like that. But the nice thing about the Fiskar is I really love this oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm tired. Ergonomic handle. I need to like slow my talking. That's what I need to do. But I love the handle. It fits really nice in your hand, especially like, you know, if you're going through a lot of layers. I really like that this is how you open it and that is how you close it. So it's kind of like a safety. For me, with my Olfa, I would get so close that sometimes my finger would start actually pushing it closed and it would mess up my cuts. So, I think it'll be easier with the small one, but that is one reason why I stopped using my 45 mil Olfa, but I do still have it. So it's kind of like my backup. Because sometimes obviously like these can break the mechanisms, but they're super easy to change. So is an Olfa. But anyways, I am super stoked to have a mini. It will definitely come in handy. I don't think I can hang both of these. I mean, awkwardly. We'll just put him in there. Then the fourth thing that came in the week 1 gifts, I am super stoked about this. It is an OmniGrid self-healing circular mat. And while I don't like their rulers because the yellow with black on a translucent acrylic ruler hurts my eyes, the yellow on the green actually doesn't. And it kind of reminds me of old school chalkboard, which I love. I actually need to get a new 18 by 24 mat because mine is now super old. But this is on a Lazy Susan and it rotates. So if you are working on pieces that are, you know, it's an 8-inch in diameter, but you would want it to be a little bit smaller than that because then you get too close to the edge. But if you're working on a standard block, so like 7 or smaller, 6.5 or smaller, you can put your block, you can put your square ruler, and you can cut it the 2 directions, and then you can just spin this and cut it the other 2 directions without having to physically move it all the time. So I'm pretty excited about this. I've been wanting a Lazy Susan cutting mat for so long and I'm so excited. And yeah, I'm very excited. And it's an OmniGrid. I love their self-healing mats. Like I said, mine is in terrible shape. We're just rolling with the punches. It is warped. Like this needs to become my backup. I need to get a new one, but they're like $40. So we haven't done that yet. Anyways, so this also came in the week 1 giveaway. And so anyways, that was such a nice surprise. But yeah. And the designer who's hosting it, and obviously who designed the pattern, she's out of San Antonio. So it got to me in like 2 days. I found out that I won on Monday. She shipped it out. Well, she made the label on Monday night. But it got picked up on Tuesday and I had it yesterday. So, super, super, super fast shipping. The only other thing that I did this week is I did make a small purchase. You can kind of see it. Okay. So, oh my gosh, right there, right there. Hobby Lobby does have, Singer and Fiskar scissors, rulers, and rotary blades 40% off. So I got a 2-pack of 28 mil Fiskar rotary blades for $5.40, and then I picked up several extra rotary blades for $5.40 each that are 45 mil. They cost about the same as, so I normally go to Walmart and get the 2-pack Fiskar 45 mil for like $9, $10. So it's about the same, like it's a tiny bit more, but I really, really, really needed it. And if I can avoid going to Walmart, you know, I'll take the sale. I'll go to Walmart next time I need blades. So anyways, that is everything for this week. I will be better. I will be better at vlogging this next week, and you'll get a super long video again next week, because I just have so much to do. And I know that some of it I'm putting a deadline on myself, but some of it I'm not. Like, this has to be done by the 22nd. Garden Gate has to be done by the 22nd. I would like for the quilt for Richard to be done at the same time, so that way I can drop it off on the 23rd. So is it the 20th? Oh my. Anyways, I don't know. Some of the deadlines I've given myself, and some of them are the sales and all that kind of stuff. And I know that Toad Circle is doing another mystery sale starting February 1st. I don't know if I'm going to join it or not. I really want to. Part of me just maybe like wants to buy the pattern and just not participate. But so that way I still get the pattern, because I really do like her patterns. And so I would be able to get all the downloads of the pattern and just not participate yet. And then there's another sale, the spools. What's the actual name? Scrappy Spools, which is It's So Emma pattern by Lori Holt and mystery lady that I can't remember. And Nicole tagged me in a post that it starts literally tomorrow. And I wrote her and she was like, I'm doing this because you convinced me. And so I like reposted the tag on my Instagram, and I was like, hee, I overcommitted. I'm going to start in February. So I guess I'm also doing that one, but it's a year-long sale, so I don't feel as crazy. But then after this insanity and the other 2 sales, yeah, I'm going to be working on finishing some stuff for a hot minute. Like, I have to. It's starting to become overwhelming, and I want to start making custom quilts for people. And also, is it in March? I don't know. In like March or something, I'm doing the cat sew along with Montgomery Quilt Company. So, there's a lot going on. I may be overcommitted, but I'm also having fun with it. But I just needed a couple of days of not doing anything. And it doesn't mean that obviously I did something since my last clip, because this is like in a state of almost finished. But it was like on like my lunch break one day and like a tiny bit after work one day. And it just wasn't enough. Like I just didn't have enough time to either film, or I got done and I went straight to bed. So I just didn't record anything about it. But anyways, I will be better this week about vlogging, and also for your pleasure and hopefully not make you seasick, a little view of little Miss Stella Beans. Hi, baby. This is where she likes to sit. And I finally put away all the things, so she now has a place to sit, which is really great. So anyways, that's where she's hanging out. And Daniel is, I don't know where. But anyways, that is it for this one. Thank you guys so much for being here. Love y'all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.